Governor Gavin Newsom's office just got exposed for miscalculating the cost of free healthcare to illegal immigrants by almost 50%. And who caught them? Assemblyman Carl DeMaio, forcing them to admit the truth. They said it would cost $6.5 billion. Turns out it's nearly $10 billion. That's right, folks. While you struggle with paying your rent and filling your gas tank, and maybe you can't afford a medical plan, California's government is handing out free healthcare to illegal immigrants at your expense. Can someone please explain why Californians keep voting for the same people who insist on squandering your hard-earned money and running this state into the ground? If you voted for Governor Newsom, Alex Padilla, or Adam Schiff, I'm genuinely curious. What exactly have they done to improve your financial situation? Drop a comment below and let me know, because from where I'm sitting, it's looking like a whole lot of nothing. Here's what the governor had to say about the costs when this all began back in 2022. Take a listen.
In the state of California, we are positioned with this budget to be able to deliver on what we've been promoting: universal health care for all, regardless of pre-existing condition, regardless of the ability to pay, and regardless of your immigration status. But we presented yesterday a fully balanced budget in the state of California. We're enjoying record surpluses, record reserves, paying down a record amount of unfunded health care liability. We're being wise with our investments, looking at one-time surpluses and one-time investments. At the same time, we're not neglecting people in the state that are vulnerable. I'll remind you, California is the fifth largest economy in the world, and while $614 million.
Did he just say $614 million? Was this his initial budget for this program?
$614 million in this budget year is a significant amount of money. California is well positioned to make that long-term investment. Number two, and it is true as well, that 2.2 is the full cost of annualization after full implementation, but it's $614 million general fund proposal in this year's fiscal budget.
That message directed at people like Republican Assemblymember Tom Lackey, who represents Kern County. He sits on the Budget Committee.
I think it's a dishonest proposal because it's giving false promises, and we're not even talking about the cost, which is the most glaring challenge that faces our public health care crisis.
According to the governor's proposal, it will cost taxpayers $2.7 billion a year.
Not even close. No, it's not even close to realistically covering what they're indicating it's going to cover.
It's why he wants the legislative analyst's office to run a cost analysis.
So my question is, and I think you've sort of answered it, despite the insolvency or projected insolvency of our healthcare system, the governor intends to fund $3.4 billion to provide healthcare for illegal immigrants. Is that correct?
Included in the budget and maintained in the budget is the expansion of Medi-Cal to all populations.
My concern is, I'd love to provide healthcare to everyone. We just can't afford it. Is there any limit to how many people can sign up for this new program? It's an entitlement. So if 1 million people cross the border tomorrow and come sign up for Medi-Cal, can they do that?
We've forecasted the number, the caseload, essentially every year we do that, and we will continue to do that going forward. In regards to eligibility, I don't believe there is any requirement or lack of requirement.
Yeah, that's my concern, is there's no limits, and it's going to create an incentive. We had 300,000 people cross the border illegally last month in December. That's only getting worse. It's not getting better. And if all those people decide to come to California and sign up for Medi-Cal, it's going to bankrupt the system. And more importantly, I hear from my constituents who have Medi-Cal, they can't get doctor's appointments. They're having a hard time getting procedures or seeing specialists that they need. And my question to the governor's office is adding 700,000 new patients into Medi-Cal going to help the system?
And sorry, I misspoke before in regards to there's obviously income eligibility required for Medi-Cal, so I would point to that. This governor, this legislature has been committed to expanding Medi-Cal, and I think we need to continue having those discussions about costs and how costs are being driven up going forward. Obviously, as we've discussed the out years, that this is a program that we need to continue to support and figure out how we're going to do that.
Can you look Californians in the eye and tell them that adding 700,000 illegal immigrants onto Medi-Cal is going to improve their access to health care? The citizens, the people paying taxes, is it going to improve their access to health care?
Again, this body has committed to the Medi-Cal expansion, and we look forward to having more conversations.
Thank you.
More conversations? That should be helpful. Watch how pained the governor is when trying to utter the word immigration.
We also want to maintain our healthcare expansion across the board, regardless of ability to pay, regardless of pre-existing conditions, and your immigration status.
Newsom and California Democrats are spending $5 billion this year to give free health care to all illegal immigrants. Keep in mind, the state is facing an almost $73 billion deficit, which means We're broke. To balance the budget, they've identified some cuts that they can make. Sadly, they're proposing to cut $500 million to school facilities, spend $5 billion for illegal immigrant health care while cutting $500 million from school facilities. Are you kidding me?
Californians should be outraged. The state is going broke, taxes keep going up, and yet billions are being funneled into programs that prioritize non-citizens over you. So here's the real question. Why? Why do Californians keep voting for this guy? If you've got an answer, drop it in the comments. And what's next? If history is any indication, California will just keep burning through your tax dollars like a bottomless pit of wasteful spending.